Hi everyone, my name is Celine. So if you've been following me on Facebook, you will know that I have started some classes for SRA and mind control, or I'm about to. I'm going to run this series on YouTube as well. However, if you do want to get in on the action and submit homework and things like that, then the group is the place to be. So I will drop a link in the description below, and you can join up there. So I want to start off with a bit of an introductory video. I'll go into a bit about who I am, what I've been through, how I've ended up here teaching classes, and kind of the direction that these classes are going to go in, and like the objective that we're aiming to achieve. These are based around spiritual aspects for healing and concepts. It's not religious, but we do believe in God, source, creator. So let's get started. So who am I? Well, I am a survivor of SRA and mind control, as some of you will know. I grew up with one family, quite high up, connected to the royals. And I was trafficked with them for the first 5 years. This was where my system was also created for the mind control. Then I was sold off to the Isle of Man into another family who I already knew. I'd had connections with already, and seen them over those 5 years, but I didn't actually live there. And, I'll get into that anyway. So yeah, I moved there when I was 5. There's facilities on the Isle of Man where they do this mind controlling. I had spinning programs done on me. I had strapped into a chair, forced to watch Disney movies. One of them was the Mickey Mouse with the band. Can't remember what it's called now. And yeah, I'd always have trouble with my left eye as well. It seemed to focus in on that eye. But yeah, anyway, I'm going off a bit there. So yeah, that's kind of what I went through. I was trafficked all around Europe. I've been to America as well. There were rituals involved, but as you will learn with me, the more we go on, SRA isn't all about rituals. Growing up in those sorts of circles isn't all about the rituals. It's everything that goes on around it. It's the mind control. It's the things we're forced to do. It's the other aspects. Like with my handlers, there was also drug dealing going on as well as the child prostitution. So, there's lots of different things to this really that doesn't get covered enough online. People tend to focus on this satanic panic and rituals. It's actually not really like that. My family had crosses on the wall, like my grandparents, but yet they were heavily involved in this. So, and the Knights Templar, you'll know they push a lot of Christianity, but yeah, they're not in the true sense of the word, are they Christian in that sense? So I had my name changed to Emma. I still haven't remembered really my initial name. I have a few ideas, but I've not sort of focused on that yet, know for definite. My age was also changed as well. I'm 3 years older than I am. I was born in 1978, not 1981. I have 2 birth certificates. I only know of one, but I know 2 have been used, and I remember that now, looking back over the years. I went to school normally, like everybody. It was just horrible being at home, really, in an abusive, neglectful environment. And the trafficking as well all the time. That was even happening on school nights. So I grew up, I got married to my first handler husband. I wasn't aware he was a handler at the time. He was a narcissist, but I wasn't even aware of that at the time until I started learning. In about 2015, I think I found out about narcissists. And then I went on to empaths, which is what I am, and a lot of you will be that are watching this. And yeah, that's how I started realizing really what I'd been through. And I also found spirituality at that time by finding out I was an empath. So I was able to use those things, tools and things to start healing from my abuse, which at the time I just thought was a bit physical, mental, emotional. I had no idea that there was trafficking and child sex involved or anything like that. I didn't know my family weren't mine. I didn't know of my life prior to that. Like, it's crazy, really, how they do it. So I married him. We had 4 children. And by the time I was 30, we'd split up and got divorced. But at this point, he took all 4 of my children, completely destroyed my character, made me out to be this person I wasn't. And my family helped him, or my handler family. And I couldn't understand why at the time. So I experienced a lot more abandonment and rejection through that. So people often ask me how I've managed to get through what I've been through and, you know, not break down and things. But for me, kind of finding out the truth explained why I was treated the way I was treated. I was constantly trying to be one of the family, and I never was. I was a black sheep. But I couldn't understand that because I was seeing it from the victim point of view. And of course, not knowing, not remembering what these people had done to me, I just felt abandoned and couldn't understand what was wrong with me. Why was I so worthless? So understanding this, I was like, well, I don't want to be involved with any of you. So I'm nothing like any of you. And this completely makes sense now why you've treated me the way you have my entire life. So that was a breakthrough for me. That brought a lot of freedom. And although the memories were hard to go through, remembering that and just knowing from myself I could never treat a child the way they treated me. And that really upset me more, really, of how you can do that to any child, any of them. I don't understand it myself. I think when we start going into the realm of demons and things like that, I can kind of wrap my head around it a bit, really, because they are demonic. So yeah, then I met my second husband, who I was trafficked with as a child. Again, we didn't know this at the time. We met in 95, as far as we were aware, and had a summer romance, and didn't even know at that time we'd actually been brought up together from the entire beginning. We were always came as a couple. If you saw my Alice in Wonderland video, you'll see that we were called Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and we were programmed together in the Alice in Wonderland programming. And yeah, so in 95, he was like a complete stranger to me. It felt like love at first sight, but it was because we both knew each other. Well, our alters did. So yeah, as I say, we got back together in 2013, and we had 3 children. I wasn't really talking to my family so much, my handler family, at this time, because of what had gone on with my first husband and how betrayed I felt. And in walks Andrew with his handler mother. So I got another handler again there, unknowingly. And we were together for a few years before 2019. That was when we started getting our memories back of the childhood abuse. And it was him that remembered first, and he'd remembered my handler dad abusing him. And he asked me why he was having this sort of vision in his head or memory. And I was like, my dad, really? And then suddenly it triggered off a memory in my head, and I seen him doing it to me. And then it snowballed from there. And it was only like probably about 6 months to a year later, I found out that this fell under the umbrella of SRA and mind control. That in itself was mind-blowing. You know, how can they remove memories? They've been trafficking me over the years. I understand now how they got me out, because my first husband was a handler. So, you know, he was keeping the secret. He would drug me or whatever he'd do to get me out the house. And then he wouldn't bring it up after. So I'd never be none the wiser that I'd had weekends away and things, being trafficked around and prostituted for DJs, elite celebrities, sports personalities, everything, because it all falls under the Illuminati. I had no idea this was going on, yet it carried on my entire life. It wasn't just childhood. Childhood just seemed to be aware of what was happening. By the time I was 12, I'm not sure what they'd done, but they realised that, you know, they weren't getting me to conform. And whenever I had an opportunity or saw an opportunity to try and get them in trouble or expose them, I'd get caught. And so they started realising I was never going to stop. And so, yeah, I was completely shut down at that point, but yet still trafficked and had absolutely no idea at all. So, as I say, these memories came back. I already had kind of a safety net from my spiritual understandings and learnings that I'd gone through by that point, such as depression, understanding that that is worrying about the past too much. Anxiety is worrying about the future and negative outcomes. And really where we want to be is in the middle, not worrying about the past. Obviously, when we're healing from memories, we have to go through that, but we don't want to be focusing on it and bringing it into the now, especially if you're out of the situation and you're on your own, or, you know, you're with a partner or someone that you can trust. You know, you're out of all of that and you're able to focus on you and start your healing. Then obviously you need to look at those memories, but we're not bringing them into the moment. We need to also understand as well that that is the past. We're learning to heal, remembering to heal, and we're remembering so we can also protect ourselves, because that's also an important thing to remember. There are so many ways they can get us pulled back in. It is unbelievable, and we will cover these in the classes, but it's just something to be aware of. Even when we're out, we still need to protect ourselves, because it's not just the cult that we were in. There's cults also interconnected everywhere, and they can pull you in as well. You know, I've known survivors that have gotten out, but then they've been pulled into another cult, and then they've realised and had to get out of that, and people claim that they're going to help and things, and it doesn't happen. So that's what I want to do as well. This isn't to bring fear, it's to bring awareness, to know the things to look out for and the traps, so you can continue to protect yourself and keep yourself safe once you are out of those situations. And also building yourself back up again as well, so you've got that confidence and self-esteem and the release from all that fear, because that is just mind-boggling. It's like being in a black hole, and that's what I aim to do, is be that hand to help you out. I can't do the work for you. You have to do it yourself. But I can teach you the tools, and I can be here to support you as you go through that and answer any questions. And that's the purpose of these classes, really, and the group, because it was originally going to be just classes. But I decided it definitely needs a group too, so we can kind of build a support network, really, and get all the information and the resources out in one place. So, so as I say, we found out in 2019, and then we left the island at that point, and we moved to England. We did go to Bali for a time because we had some money in the bank after it came through from my divorce, and we quickly ran out because we had no plan in place, no means of supporting ourselves. We kind of just went in panic mode, really, and just went. So we ended up having to come back to the UK, So we went to the police at that point to report it because we were worried that, we had remembered and we'd escaped, and now we've got to go back. What's going to happen? And, they had been threatening to send me back to the Isle of Man with the children. And the Isle of Man's like a whole new world on its own. Everything is locked down. It's got its own government. Anything that happens there, you rarely see it on the internet or anything. They make out like it's this lovely, tranquil place and everything. It's not. It's got a very, very nasty underground, and a lot of people are involved there in it. And it goes right to the top. And a lot of the elite actually either visit the Isle of Man or have homes there, just like Jersey and Guernsey, if you're aware of the UK kind of structure of things. So yeah, we went to the police. It went to someone really high up, a DCI, and she quickly got it shut down, and within 6 days had my children removed in a bid to silence us. And then I had to fight in court for 18 months to get them back. So I did get them back, kind of. The condition was that they went to my husband and that I only saw them 4 times a year. So obviously that's something I'm still fighting to try and clear my name. I do seem to be making some progress, but I don't want to talk too soon, so I'm not going to go there with that. But finally seeing light there anyway. So the last 3 years, really, the last 4 years has just been about healing, removing blocks. You'll find that we have lots of mindset blocks that blocks us from doing things. We've got programs running that kind of restrict us from doing things. And actually, if that program wasn't there, we'd be able to do the things we want to do. So we'll break down the programs as well. And we'll go through all that, the ones that we can actually get rid of that aren't kind of locked in the system. And that'll help as well, when we can remove the things we can and then get down to what we really need to be on. That's going to really help then to go through that process of deprogramming all of that, the system and the alters, and integrating them back into one, which we can do. So kind of lost my train of thought there. I think I finished what I was saying about me. Yeah, the healing. So I'll go into now kind of the focus for these classes and the direction we're heading in, so you've got an idea and you can kind of see a light at the end of the tunnel. So the thing with spirituality is it teaches us, it's a good tool to have. Right, let's go back. Sorry. So SRA and mind control. In fact, any kind of abuse at all, we need to focus on an outcome. We need to have focus. We need to have something to aim for. We need to have a structure in place to get us there. And we need to start building ourselves up in the process. So with spirituality, there's a lot of main teachings within it that you can begin applying in the beginning, which will help build that safety net and that foundation. So then you can then go deeper. And you will find as well that a lot of the memories at first will be very subtle. Healing happens in layers like an onion. So the first one might be not too bad, but you work through that and you heal it. And we'll go through them in the classes, how to do that effectively. You work through that and you heal it. That makes you a little bit stronger. Then another memory will come up. It might be a different memory. We work through that and we heal it. And that makes us a little bit stronger. Then we might come back to this memory and we think we've healed that and let it go. But actually, there's another aspect that needs looking at, which is a bit harder than the last one we had to look at. But now we've just drawn strength off these other 2 things, or maybe more, that we've healed. So when we come back round to this, and this is that bit harder, we've also got that strength there. So it's not as hard as it would have been, if that makes sense. And that's kind of how it progresses, like a spiral. She'll kind of come down first, to the kind of harder stuff as we go, but then you'll find yourself come back up again. So this is why we want to have that safety net in place, because you don't want to plummet and hit rock bottom. That's what we need to stop doing. You need to come to a kind of baseline where, yeah, you're going to be feeling down and stuff. That's understandable. You might even be in a bit of fear in the moment and despair if you're having a PTSD flashback, because they're essentially what it is. But you know you're going to be able to come back from that and not go any lower. Okay, so that's the idea with this. So, as I say, we focus on the things we can heal. So, limiting beliefs is one thing. And go inside initially. Think about, what are your beliefs? What things are in your head that have been told to you that you shouldn't do? Ask yourself, do you believe that? If the answer is no, then you choose to let that belief go. You say, that belief is not mine. I choose to let that go. This is my belief. And reiterate that either in your head or out loud what your belief is, right? And you can write that down as well if you want. In fact, it would be really good to get into the process, the routine of journaling as you're going along, because this will really help you, so you can come back to things if you need to and, go over anything. And it'll also help you on your journey as well as you move forward. So journal and write down what that belief is. And when this other one keeps cropping in, you're going to say, no, we don't believe that anymore. And you keep reaffirming your belief, and do this to everything, right? Because other people's beliefs aren't yours, and we don't have to take them on. We don't have to take society. We don't have to take parents. We don't have to take anybody's. Your beliefs are your own, okay? That's one thing to get kind of really kind of cemented in, is knowing that. That will make it a lot easier, because then you're getting rid of a lot of the rubbish already, okay? Thoughts, when negative thoughts come in that you're a bad person, things like that, you're going to switch that up to the positive. And I want you to write those down in your journal as well, and keep looking at them, and you're going to keep focused on them, because if you want to heal and you want to get through this, you need to be your own best friend, and you need to be on your side. And if you're constantly beating yourself up and saying hurtful things to yourself, you're just reinforcing what the abuser did. And that's what makes everything a lot worse as well. We need to stop doing that. We have to be our saviour. We have to be our parent that we never had. We have to be our best friend we never had. We have to really start loving ourselves like we would if it was our own child. And you can see yourself like that as well where you're going through the healing, and especially when the memories come up, because actually that is your inner child within you that is still suffering. So by healing her or him, you're going to heal yourself in the moment and heal all these things, all these traumas that you're experiencing, because we're healing it at the root. It all starts normally within childhood, unless you've been in a narcissistic relationship and this has happened in your adulthood, that's different. But most of the root will be from the childhood, and especially with SRA and mind control, because that's where it all starts. So we need to be loving and caring of her or him and help them through the process. And there are different ways we can do that as well. We can bring them out of the situation. We can create a space in our heads, like a garden maybe with angels in it, or whatever you believe in, that's going to bring healing to this child you've just rescued. We can, for me, when I started out, I built a log cabin in my house, in my head, big log cabin, trees all around it, kind of looks like Canada, I guess. Got a big lake, which you can swim in. It's warm. It's not cold like Canada, it's warm. It's a big 2-story log cabin. It's got everything in there that I want. from my entire life. So for each inner child that I've kind of pulled out of a memory and put in there for now until I can kind of work through things and integrate, they'll have everything they always wanted. So maybe like one of my inner child, she's about 3, she wanted her ice cream cup, and I'd completely forgotten about this. There was a cup I used to have and it had a lid on it, but it was like an ice cream with a straw in it. And I used to love having my Crusher milkshakes out of that. So she's got that in there in her room. She's got the bedroom she always wanted with toys everywhere and 4-story beds, proper princess bedroom. You know, you really put detail into this and give yourself everything you never had. And that helps as well. And you know, you can kind of do that while you're working through the other memories, and then as you progress along, you can start, then you'll realize these will start wanting to integrate. That's kind of a hard process to explain in a couple of minutes anyway. I think I need to do, well, we'll be doing a class on that anyway. So, you know, we can give that its own attention really that it needs. Breath work is another good one. So we breathe in for 3 through the nose, hold, and then release. Now, when you're doing that, you're releasing all the negative energies. You can even imagine black smoke coming out your mouth. We can do this to calm ourselves when we're having a panic attack or anxiety or anything. Bring us back into the moment. You can ground by hugging yourself or anything, looking around the room. You can picture roots from your feet going into Mother Earth and kind of really holding you in place like a tree. We can envision our thoughts being released up to the heavens and just get really calm. You just remind yourself that right in this moment, at this present time, you are safe, you are loved, you are protected. And you keep reminding yourself until you start calming down and feeling better. And the more you do that, the more it will become natural and those things will start to subside. And then you'll be able to get a better handle then on dealing with the memories as they come up. Meditation is also a good way. Now, it is quite hard in the beginning when we've been through mind control because we tend to shut this off, the visualization aspect of it. So that's all right. If you see in black, you can just sense that this is happening or just have a knowing within you that it's happening. You can either meditate on your own by setting the intention that you wished for that meditation. So if it's like healing, maybe an emotion or a limiting belief you want to get rid of, you can set the intention that in this meditation, I'm going to release that limiting belief, and you can name what it is if you know what it is. Or I do suggest guided meditations. I found them really useful in the beginning because my mind kept wandering off so much, and because I couldn't visualize properly, it kind of gave me that guidance to run through and helped me be able to kind of see or at least follow a direction of where this meditation was going. That really helped a lot as well. I mean, within 2 to 3 months at the very most, I was not depressed anymore and I was not having anxiety just by these basic principles. And that's before I even started healing from the SRA and mind control. So these are really useful tools. And this is why I want you to start getting used to implementing these into your daily practice and, you know, really working on this as much as you can, because that's what's going to help you. Ultimately, we're not just changing our minds, but we've got to change our life as well. That's what it takes really to move out of that and into who we are and who we're meant to be and who we are in this moment, and release all that past trauma and undo all the damage that they did. So these are really useful tools. So I can't stress that enough to, you know, really start honing in on these now before we move any further forward, because as we progress along, you know, within the next couple of weeks or so, we will start diving a lot deeper into the healing. You're going to really need this foundation to kind of springboard off for that. So yeah, as I say, doing the grounding every day, meditation, breath work, calm myself, reminding myself that in this moment I'm safe. I'm not going through what I did. Those handlers from the past aren't there anymore. And I just kept doing it day after day after day. And the difference was astounding. And actually, that's probably what opened me up then to be able to remember the SRA and mind control, because I'd kind of already had this foundation. I'd already released the depression and the anxiety and stuff, as I say. So, yeah, so it's all about finding your core self. That's ultimately what we're doing. And then when we can do that, we can start getting the alters to trust us. And then we can start working through that and integrating them back into one again. And, you know, you'll feel like a brand new person, I promise. It does work. I'm sitting here today. I mean, it's taken me quite a long journey, but I've done this on my own. And hopefully by me being able to put these classes out to people, it will help you do it a lot quicker, because you're not going to have to go down rabbit holes that I've gone down that I know are pointless or don't work, or getting caught up in spiritual traps, because I've been there and I've done it, and, you know, I can help you avoid them. Which is a lot of the point of the group as well, is for that too. It's not just about healing the mind control. It is everything that we have to look out for and how we have to be moving forward on our journeys in our lives and keeping ourselves safe. And yeah, really just looking out for us. That's all we can do, really. We're our own saviors at the end of the day. We might think we're not, but we are, and we're a lot stronger than you think. To get through everything we've been through and be where we are now, that shows amazing strength. And still being a loving person you are as well, and wanting to get better to help other people. You know, that's you should be so proud of yourself just for that alone. And see how truly strong and valuable and worthy to this world you actually are. It's the dark that are telling us we're not. Well, but why are we going to listen to them? We're here to expose them, right? We've been through what we've been through, but now we can expose them for what they've done. And I know you might be scared, but actually, it's the silence that they want. So once you start exposing things, obviously, if you're in the thick of it, I wouldn't do that. I'd just work on yourself for now, get yourself stronger so you can start clearing your head and thinking of a way that you can get out without raising suspicion. But I've kind of gone off on a tangent there. So no, it's completely gone. So I think I'll leave it there for that video anyway, and we'll talk more in the next video. Homework. I have posted some videos in the photos. They're in an album in photos, and they are on things you can do over the 7 days. So the first one is Mindset Monday, or Mindset Monday. I haven't done these for a long time. These were in my old group. Mindset Monday. So the idea of that is, you'll see in the video that you're going to use your imagination Monday. Not with it today. So Imagination Monday. So the idea of that is you're going to use your imagination to see the kind of future that you want, to give you that end goal. And that's something, again, that you can start implementing into your daily practice. Now, I have done these in single videos and called them dailies. But you can do these all together every day if you want. You can add more to it if you want to. But I kind of just wanted to put a little bite-sized piece in there so it's not too overwhelming to people. And then you can build up on that, you know, as you go along and when you're ready. So we've got that. Tuesdays is, I should have wrote these down. They're all in the group anyway. Go through them each day. They're all a daily practice. Each one there is instructions in there of what you need to do. Any questions, obviously let me know. And practice that for this week. You can come into the group, you can write down any experiences in the group you have, but certainly by, this will be getting posted tomorrow, Wednesdays will be the classes. So certainly by Sunday, Monday, maybe, if you could come in the class and do an update on how you're getting on with any of those videos. Let me know how many you've decided to take on, if you've just done one a day, and you know how you've felt experiencing that. Any shifts that you've felt inside. And yeah, just focus on that for this week, and that will help build your foundation as well. That's another thing, apart from the meditation, the breath work, and the letting go of beliefs and things, and the grounding. Those other 7 things will also help build that foundation and start you seeing, and start you seeing yourself for who you actually are, your true self, not who they've made you think you are, or the program they've put in your head. Who you actually are, who you know you are deep inside. Even if you think you're not worthy right now, or, well, I can't be because everyone treats me like that, you know inside who you are, right? And that's you. So start believing it. Forget everyone else. No one else matters. And if they are saying that, then they're not nice people anyway to be around. So none of us here in this group are saying that. So, you know, take that for what it is. So I hope that kind of makes sense. And you kind of get an idea now of why we're using these tools and the kind of direction that we're heading in. And you know, how these are effective and worthy really of implementing for yourself. And then we'll get that self-care plan going. This will form part of your self-care plan. So I will leave it there for this video, and I will see you in the next class. Any questions, obviously you can ask me in the group. You can do anonymous in there if you want to. I will keep uploading resources, of course, and other material that I can get my hands on, and stuff I've done myself. I think I've got some meditations I can put in there. My 2 courses are now free: beginner's energy course and the beginner's SRA. There's some energy healing in that, and scrambling up of some programs, so you can give that a go and see how you get on with that. And yeah, let's start building a community of light, because that's what we are. The sooner we all heal and get together, like, oh, look out, darkness. So I will see you soon. Take care. Enjoy your day.